Dynamo Nation, what's going on? It's James. Week 11's done. It's in the rear view. Week 12 is upon us. And this is the time to finesse that damn waiver wire, baby. We have to do it. No more L's. Dynamo Nation is not taking any more L's going forward. This is it. It's the playoff time. We have to buckle down, have to get into that gear. If you're not in the playoffs, you're trying to get into it. If it looks like you got your spot locked down, you're trying to win the division. And if it looks like you're winning that division, you want that number one seed. And that's where we're at. So we're going to look at 5 players this week, all sitting on waivers, all that I think can help you. Maybe not this week, all of them, but they might, but moving forward. Like, that's the most important part. Let's get in front of these injuries. Our first player is going to be Ty Johnson. I've been hyping him up for weeks as a solid sleeper play. And what happened? Michael Carter's down for 2 or 3 weeks. And he's down at the end of the season when we're trying to make the playoffs. Like, literally the most important stretch of the season. And you got Johnson, who prior to last week, he's caught like 18, 20 passes in the last 4 or 5 games. Like top 10 of all running backs in that category. And that's splitting reception work with Carter. Now, Carter's going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks. All that work is going to go to Johnson. If he was averaging 4 or 5 a week, you could probably tack another 2 on. You know, so if we got Johnson pulling in 6, 7 receptions a game for 50, 60 yards and then getting another 5 or 6 carries, I mean, he's going to be a really solid low-end RB2, high-end RB3 moving forward, at least for these next 2 weeks. So if you've listened before, you listened in the past, and you got in front of the curve, like I keep preaching, and you pick Johnson up, you're reaping the rewards right now. Same thing with Mark Ingram from before. If you got in front of the curve, you're reaping the rewards right now. He's going to start again for 3 weeks straight now. So, but yeah, Ty Johnson, our number 1 pickup. Number 2 will stay in that backfield, Tevin Coleman. And while I believe Johnson's going to get the bulk of the receiving work, and he's still going to be mixed in on the ground, Coleman's going to get the groundwork. And while Johnson is the clear RB to own for the next 2 or 3 weeks, injuries happen. Michael Carter just went down. Johnson could get hurt. I mean, it happens every single week. And if he gets hurt and you did not pick up Coleman, guess what's going to happen? You're probably not going to be positioned to grab him next week. You don't want these injuries like I've been preaching it. Plan for these injuries. Hope for the best. Plan for the injuries. Because this is like when you finesse, this is what I've been doing all year. When you finesse the waiver wire and use it to your advantage, you're going to be golden, man. So Coleman's going to be our second pickup. Strictly, we're going to wait and see. I think Johnson's going to have that job, where we're going to have Coleman in case something happens. Third, Charlie Hilliard. I've heard a lot of analysts, and just today alone, fading Hilliard. Flash in the pan, whatever you want to call it. Telling people to avoid him. I'm not going to say that to you. To me, Hilliard, when you look at his body of work, he's been a special teams guy. You know, he was with the Browns for a couple of years. He got in a couple of games. He had a really good game against the Baltimore Ravens a few years back. But he's always been a special teams guy, always been a pass catch guy. And what did he do? He caught 8 passes on 10 targets. And he still popped off on 5 yards per carry, 35 yards on 7 carries. So when you look at that, you look at his college profile, he had like a 10, 11% target share in college. So he's always been a pass-catching back. The Titans are hurting at receiver right now. And they're playing New England. New England's been smoking everybody. So this could be a really close game, or it could be New England just popping off and running away with it. Whatever the situation may be, the Titans are going to have to move that ball through the air. I don't think it's a coincidence that you see Hilliard come in, immediately see 10 targets. I don't think that's going away. So if you fade him, you're running the risk on legitimately missing out on a RB2-3 in PPR, full PPR, because of that running back situation in Tennessee. I'm grabbing Hilliard and I'm seeing what happens. I'm not saying that he's going to pop off this week, but he might week 14, week 15, whatever the situation may be. You need to grab him, you need to stash him, and let's see what happens. If he legitimately has a pass-catching role in that offense, you find yourself a nice little flex starter for free. And he's rostered in under 1% of leagues. Hilliard's going to be our third. And we're going to stay in Tennessee. And obviously, we're looking at those two receivers. Well, the one receiver that everybody's talking about, Westbrook, which I'm not gonna play on him. He's been solid. 7 catches, 107 yards, and he's had a couple of good games this year. So definitely he led the team in receiving. Definitely a nice pickup this week. My receiver to own in Tennessee is Dez Fitzpatrick. He played 79% of snaps, which led the team. Only 3 catches, 35 yards, did have a touchdown. But the thing between these two players, Westbrook, undrafted free agent. Fitzpatrick, 4th-round pick. Regardless if it's fair or not, whatever you want to call it, teams are going to give the guys that they draft an opportunity, period. And Westbrook, if you look at his college tape, Westbrook is a physical blocking receiver who has open field ability. Like he was one of my sleeper receivers going into the season. I think he's got nice upside, nice appeal. And I think he would have already taken that wide receiver 2 role if they hadn't traded for Julio, which has been the hugest bust of the season in terms of real life NFL trades and probably fantasy. So we don't know what's going on with Julio, A.J. Brown, all that good stuff. We could be looking at both of these guys starting this week, which is very possible. But to me, Fitzpatrick, 79% of snaps, 4th-round pick. He's the guy for me. Westbrook is probably going to be the first one taken in most leagues on the waivers. And ideally, you can get them both. If you can get them both, get them both. But I'm going to be more realistic. We're looking at Westbrook is rostered in 12, 13%, something like that, of leagues on my fantasy league. Fitzpatrick is significantly lower than that. So if I'm flexing and finessing my waiver wire, I'm using my 1st-round pick in that waiver on one of these running backs, Ty Johnson. So if you're picking first, go get Ty Johnson. Which means you're not going to make it. Westbrook's not going to make it back to round 2, but that's fine. Fitzpatrick. So these are going to be the 5 players. Again, let's finesse our waivers this week, guys. We need to pick up a W by any means necessary. No more L's. This is the playoff time, baby. We have to be in it. We have to outwork, out-hustle, out-research everyone. That's what we're doing right now. So get in, get these guys, stash them. Let's see what happens. So I hope you guys win. Hope it's a great week for everyone in Dynamo Nation. If you're new to the channel, you like the content, please subscribe. I just posted our IDP side of things for week 12. So if you're in an IDP league, you're needing help there, we got 2 running backs, 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 2 DBs for you to go check out. That one's a little bit more metric-based, and we're looking at matchups in that one. So, again, if new to the channel, you like the content, please consider subscribing. Dynamo Nation would appreciate it. All right? Let's have a great week, everybody. Stay safe, and let's get those W's. See ya.